Hey guys, it's me, Jaden, here again for week 5 of Reading the Artist Way. And this week was actually a lot better than last week. This week I really did feel like really engaged and, very in the reading this week. This week was about recovering the sense of possibility. Like a quick basic rundown of that was Julia is the author, but she was basically saying that like God literally gives us our creativity because He is the original creator and He gives us the gift of creativity, which I love, by the way. That's so cool to think about, and it's so true. But God is unlimited, and like God's power can go. God can do the impossible. See, possibility, impossible. God can literally do anything. So, for us to recover the sense of possibility, we really need to like to tap into God, really, basically, and just ask. Well, not really ask, but really like lean on. Well, you can ask, but lean on and just recognize that He can make anything possible. And if you are willing to connect yourself, you can do great things and unlock the possibility of anything. Honestly, I don't know if that really made sense, but that's what I got. But like basically, yeah, we limit our own power when we don't really rely on God because God is the one who gives. God is everything and everywhere and every. God is everything, and He gives us creativity, and creativity is a gift from God. So He wants us to use that gift of creativity, obviously, but creativity comes from Him. You know what I mean? It's so funny because I that has to be true because all the time you hear songwriters like say that they like sometimes like they feel like they pull songs from the clouds, the songwriting clouds, and it comes down to them. But I really just feel like that's just God, Like God is the cloud and God gives these songs. And who's ever willing to receive them takes them. And it's also funny because like how if Michael Jackson like has an idea for a song, he has to do it right there, right now, or he feels like God is gonna give it to Prince. Mm. See where you see it's all connected. It's all connected. Like you can't tell me I'm wrong, Like, but I was really this week I was really into it, and I took notes, which I'm really proud of myself. But yeah, she was just saying that like God from everything, like to music, movies, books, art, literally anything creative essentially comes from God. And not that he like runs like the movie business, but or runs everything single-handedly because he gives us our freedom too, our free will. Next on that is she was also talking about how wanting to like put our creative lives in the hands of humans, which isn't good and can block you as an artist. What that means is like basically seeking like really seeking validation and letting people change the way you would do your art, basically, or creativity, like if that makes sense. Like if somebody said something to you like, oh, I don't like the color yellow, and then when you like want to use the color yellow in your painting or something, you're like, I don't know, should I? But they don't like yellow, so if I put yellow, they're not gonna like my painting. Like that kind of example. But she also says that like the desire. This is what it says from the book. She says the desires to be worldly, sophisticated, and smart often blocks our flow, which I feel is really true. That's why I feel like artists are like so free. Like when you think of like artists and like sculptures or sculpture artists, I don't know. But yeah, like they just have like a free spirit and like you can just tell when someone's an artist. Like I hope I give off that energy too, but if not, it's okay. Um but yeah, they just like live they live like a certain kind of way. Like it's just like free spirited, like whatever their heart desires, they're gonna do, like no matter what, you know? And like they're just so tapped into what they love and what they like and what speaks to them. I feel like that really comes through. And yeah, so basically like that creativity is a spiritual issue. And yeah, just basically saying, and also like finding the river is like creativity is kind of like a river. And if you don't take care of yourself artistically, like filling your well, which is like being inspired and like looking at stuff that inspire you pretty much, or like that is cool and creative and stuff that you like, it can it can drain your it can drain your river, and it'll be harder to be creative when your river is not flowing, you know. It really is important to take care of yourself creatively, because you know if you keep drawing your creativity from that water, you're gonna get dry, and you're gonna run out, and you're gonna burn out, and that's not good. We don't want that. So you really do have to take care of yourself, replenish the water, the river, and yeah. And the fact that is like you can literally trust God with literally anything. You can trust him with anything. He'll take care of you. All you got to do is ask. Sometimes all you got to do is just ask. Like sometimes you got to put in the work, sometimes you got to wait, but if you ask, it will be done. Or if God says no, he probably has something better for you instead. Spitting bars over here. Okay? I'm spitting bars. I'm teaching y'all. This is the lesson. I'm class is in session. I'm teaching y'all. Even though I really do struggle with being creative sometimes, but I do feel myself getting better, like a little bit better and better. So hopefully by the time I finish this book, I should be all the way there. Fingers crossed. But yeah, also not taking care of yourself, creativity can lead to the virtue trap, which is kind of like when you've been taking care of everybody else and not really focusing on yourself creatively or doing what you want creatively, you can become very like vicious towards other people in your life, you know? You can get really mad at someone or be like, I want to kill you, because deep down inside you're not taking care of yourself, you're not doing what you want creatively, and like you're just becoming an animal, honestly, like a beast. Maybe not to that extent for everybody, you know, everybody is different, but maybe deep down inside that's how you really feel. But it's very common because, you know, life gets in the way. When you have kids, family, wife, you know, all that stuff can like distract you from what you really want to do. Like for example, it was like this mom wanted to do like a sculpting class, but she couldn't go because her son had a soccer game. So she had to be there for the soccer game instead of going to the sculpting class, but she was resenting her son because of that. You know, like it's so important to take care of yourself creatively, which I feel like a lot of people don't do or don't really care about. I feel like this is why having fun and doing stuff that you want to do is very important. And like sometimes doing that means we have to be selfish sometimes. You know, like being selfish is bad, but it's always to a certain extent where you have to like draw the line and be like, okay, I have to do this for myself no matter what. Like I don't care. I got to do this for me. And that's okay, cuz honestly, you can't take care of everybody else if you don't take care of yourself. You can't give if you don't have nothing to give from, you know? It's very important. And then everybody around you can feel that too, I think. Especially like if you're feeling resentment towards somebody, people can sense that. So yeah. And another dangerous thing is becoming destructive for yourself. And it's like still like people pleasing, putting others in front of you before taking care of yourself can become very self-destructive, as she likes to call it. So the lesson is take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself creatively. Lean on God. That was pretty much the lesson in a nutshell. We did some tasks. The task this week was very interesting. I'm not gonna share. I might share just like one task that I did because I don't want this video to be too long, and I still want to keep some stuff for myself, you know. One of the tasks was a question of my payoff for staying blocked is dot 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 dot. And for what I said was, I was like, I procrastinate a lot. And I feel like when I procrastinate, I procrastinate or like kind of give up. And I feel like when I do that, it's because like I'm scared if I finish it and it's not good, or I don't like it, or it's just like not what I wanted it to turn out to be. It's kind of like it hurts me, and it's kind of scary for me to like, oh, I did this and it didn't come out good, so I must suck. And, I feel like me procrastinating is like kind of like keeps me from feeling that way, even though I'm not making any progress either. So, yeah, that's what I would say for what my payoff is, which is a really bad habit. Doing anything as an artist is a skill, and I really just need to get over that and just like let myself be a beginner, let myself be bad. Not everything is going to be 10 out of 10, perfect, perfectionist, and you a lot of the times you have to make a lot of bad art to get to the good art. So, yeah. I don't want this video to be too long, so if you made it to the end, thank you so much for joining me this week. And thank you so much. I love you guys so much. And if you're new here, thank you for watching, and I hope you watch the other weeks. And if you're also reading The Artist Way, let me know. And okay. Bye. Love you.